Thanks, Tom, for your work and those reflections. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce to you ABA ROLI Rule of Law champion, Rebecca Fisher. Rebecca hails from St. Paul, Minnesota, where her practice focuses on criminal justice, criminal defense, and she maintains an active involvement in the Minnesota Bar. Last year, ABA ROLI's colleagues in the Kosovo Bar Association, the KBA, asked for advice on strengthening their programs, and Judge Jack Tunheim, Chief Judge of the Federal District of Minnesota and Chair of our Regional Council in Europe and Eurasia, thought that maybe the Minnesota Bar could help. And Judge Tunheim sent out, as many of us do, an email, and Rebecca heard the call. She joined a group of Minnesota Bar members who funded their own travel to Kosovo last summer to see how they could help. Several areas of potential cooperation emerged from those meetings, including how the KBA could increase young lawyer participation in the bar. As a past president of the Young Lawyers section for the Minnesota Bar, Rebecca followed up on those in-person meetings with numerous telephone consultations with young lawyers she met in Kosovo to advise them how to structure a section, how to fundraise, and how to become actively involved in the bar. She has also tapped the Minnesota Bar's criminal law section for resources and information on criminal law training for the Kosovo Bar Association, and worked with Minnesota lawyers, bar members, to raise $2,500 to support a return visit by Kosovo Bar leaders to Minneapolis. This past May, that work came to fruition, and Rebecca and her Minnesota Bar colleagues hosted the Kosovo group in Minneapolis, where they learned about bar operations, specialty sections, including young lawyers in criminal law, and CLE. Rebecca's pro bono efforts have helped spawn an enriched sister bar relationship between Minnesota and the Kosovo bars that we expect to pay rule of law dividends for years to come. In highlighting her work at our luncheon today, we hope to stimulate similar initiatives in other jurisdictions. Rebecca, please accept this token of our appreciation. And I want to also just say, as I hand this to Rebecca, that there are a number of folks here from Minnesota, and I ask them please to stand for the Minnesota Bar Association. To Rebecca and her colleagues from Minnesota, thank you for the difference that you made in Kosovo. Thank you so much.
Well, I am very humbled to be accepting this award. Clearly, I am not the only attorney from the MSBA who has worked with Kosovo. Our Bar Association and legal community has had an ongoing relationship with Kosovo for some time. We have attorneys that are now judges who were prosecutors during some of the war crimes there several years ago, and that's where Chief Judge Tunheim and also Judge Scoggin from Hennepin County come into play. I was asked to get involved last summer, mainly because I did criminal defense and was a female attorney, and the Kosovo Bar Association was looking to promote those areas and get some advice in those areas. And so I want to say thank you to ABA ROLI for this recognition. I also want to recognize Elizabeth Givens. She's the program director for the Balkan Regional Rule of Law Network, and Denisa Fakolari, who is the regional coordinator for Kosovo, Albania, and Macedonia. When we went last summer, so July of 2015, 4 of us went, and we didn't really know what to expect, and it was a little bit of a fact-finding mission. And what we found is it's a very, very young country. It's a very new bar association, but as far as the Balkan region goes, it's one of the more advanced. So my big picture, long-term goal is that we can continue to work with the KBA, and that will spill over into the Balkan regions as well. Obviously, we've got a whole table full of people here from MSBA. I am so happy and proud to be a member of that association. I would not be standing in front of you here today if it wasn't for the support for the people in MSBA. One of the interesting issues in Kosovo is, there are still ethnical and cultural issues there between the Serbs and the Albanians. And so the KBA just had elections over the last year, and instead of moving up the ladder, so to speak, the whole slate is wiped clean, and we had a whole new people come in on their executive committee. And not everybody got along with the old people. And so one of the great things that we've been able to help facilitate is everybody continuing to work together towards rule of law initiatives and goals for their legal system. The other really unique thing there, and I think that we can do a lot of work in this area, is when you come out of law school, you're either a judge, a prosecutor, or an advocate. And the KBA deals only with the advocates. And there's a hierarchy there. And the judges don't mingle with the advocates. The prosecutors don't mingle with the advocates. And so Judge Carolina Ville just got back from Kosovo, I think a week ago, and I haven't had a opportunity to speak with her at length. But one of the things in May, when the Kosovo advocates came to Minnesota, is there were also some female judges there, and they were very, very reluctant to come to our reception at the federal courthouse. They don't mingle with advocates. These attorneys want to hang out with us. What's going on? And so the Minnesota judges brought them to our reception, and I think that they were really surprised at the camaraderie and the interchange between the judges and the attorneys in Minnesota. And one of KBA's big things is, how do we lobby Parliament for the greater good of our legal system? Well, I think before you can even get to that step, you have to back up and start working together. And so one of my goals in the future is to go again with judges who know other judges, and we can get even just informally the advocates and judges together to start working on some common goals. Another long-term goal that we have is trial training, and I'm looking at Tom and Laura going, wow, they're so far ahead of me right now, I don't even know what to do. But going back and finding the attorneys that are really good, and I've gotten to meet some of them, and getting them to do some trial training. Kosovo, cross-examination is brand new to them within the last few years. Nobody knows how to do it. The judges admonish the attorneys for doing it. Everybody's afraid of it. So there's a lot of fun stuff that we can certainly do there. And so I would encourage you all to get involved somewhere, somehow at the pro bono level. I think ROLI is fantastic. I'm so excited and proud to be part of this and be honored today. And I just thank everyone for the recognition. Again, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for MSBA and the KBA. Thank you.